last weekend. I was at the federal Conservative Party convention in Calgary. You were at the Quebec Conservative Party convention. And I think we were all talking about the same things, freedom, firearms rights, government overreach, being left alone. Just in brief, because, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes left. Tell us what the key points, the key themes of the Conservative Party convention in Quebec.
Yeah, by the way, the Conservative Party of Quebec did their convention in the same time that the federal one, but they didn't know. They didn't know
Right.
that that will
They
actually.
They weren't like Doug Ford.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't know because I asked, and they say, if we knew, we would probably do it another time, but they didn't know. But the key theme were mainly economy, housing, education. They were a part on nationalism, being proud of our heritage. They bring back also the question about crucifix and all the Christian heritage that they want to keep and not removed. They also talked about the justice system and also the public safety. We talked about also some stats about incarceration, the jail time and recidivists. They also spoke about, I'm trying to remember everything. They didn't actually really touch more a lot about immigration. I was kind of surprised, and I actually asked a question about it. And what they say to us, they say that they don't want to fall into talking about numbers or how many immigrants we want per years. They want to table bill that will actually mention the need of the region in terms of immigrant, and that will come later. So it's why they didn't actually include too much of immigration on this portion, but mainly how to extract our natural resources. They also talked about the federal buyback program and the confiscation of the firearm. They are all against it. They believe on the autonomy of a province, that the federal should not actually teach and tell us how to deal with their firearm or with their natural resources. They believe on the full autonomy of province. And that was actually really interesting to see. And they were so at this moment, probably people are aware that our premier have resigned. Now they are searching for someone to replace. But they were one of the minister who actually resigned. Now she sitting as an independent, but she was there during the Conservative convention. She actually spoke about the need of the region and the autonomy of the region. So they will actually, him and the minister who sit as an independent, they will table a project of law, a bill together about immigration and the region, the need of the region. So that was another interesting part. About 300 people were there. They actually discussed so many propositions. Some were adopted. Most of them were adopted, and some of them got rejected, obviously.
Well, it sounds like a very Alberta-style convention.
Actually, they spoke about Alberta and how we should actually take Alberta as a model, how to be more autonomous and how to extract our natural resources, and how we should decentralize everything to give more power to the region. Because in Quebec, everything is centralized. Everything is it's run by the government in Quebec, and it's why we are seeing so many problems. And they talk about how the healthcare system need also to be decentralized, and how we need to add private sector with the public sector, because in Quebec, unfortunately, it's all about public, and the union is pressuring the government to remove completely the private sector. That would be terrible for Quebec.
Right. Yeah, it is true. I mean, we talk about resource extraction, but Quebec has its own natural gas fields, but you've banned fracking there for some reason. And so your premier, your newly resigned premier, he's against fracking, but he's perfectly fine to take the money generated by fracking out here in Alberta and take it by way of equalization payment. So he's not against fracking, he's just against fracking jobs in Quebec.
No, our premier is like that as Éric Duhaime. He is actually
Yes.
governing with the wave of the wind. So
Yes.
if people are against something, it's just following everything. Because François Legault wrote a book about how to extract our natural resources, and he was not against fracking. It was actually to how to we will actually get equalization payment to zero, how to be prosperous. And look at what he did. He actually
None
betrayed
of it.
all of his promise.
He did none of it.
None of it. But he wrote a book about it.
Well, that's good. Good for him. Alexa, thanks so much for coming on the show today, giving us an update on your important work in Cuba.